The new 2026 Mazda 6e and the 2025 Mazda 6e are essentially the same generation of the all-electric Mazda 6. The sibling rivalry is more about their staggered release and initial availability in different markets rather than significant generational changes. Here's a breakdown of what we know, highlighting that the 2025 model is largely the European launch of what will be the 2026 model in some other markets. Key points. Launch timing. The Mazda 6e, also known as Mazda EZ-6 in China, was unveiled in April 2024 and began sales in Europe in 2025. It's expected to arrive in other markets, like the UK, in early to mid-2026. So, what is referred to as the 2025 Mazda 6e is primarily the initial European release, while the 2026 Mazda 6e denotes its broader global availability. No major generational change. There isn't a new generation 2026 Mazda 6e that is distinct from a 2025 model in terms of design or fundamental specifications. It's the same car being rolled out to different regions. Any minor updates for the 2026 model year would likely be incremental, e.g., software enhancements, new color options, rather than a complete overhaul. Collaboration with Chang'an Automobile. The Mazda 6e was developed through a collaboration between Mazda and Chang'an Automobile Company, Limited, incorporating Mazda's design and driving dynamics with Chang'an's electrification and smart cabin technologies. Shared specifications for both 2025/2026 variants. Powertrain, rear-wheel drive, RWD, electric vehicle, BEV. Standard battery option, 68.8 kilowatt-hours LFP, lithium iron phosphate, battery. Power, approximately 254 to 258 horsepower, 190 kilowatts, and 236 lb-ft, 320 Nm of torque. 0 to 62 miles per hour, 0 to 100 kilometers per hour around 7.6 seconds. WLTP range, approximately 297 to 300 miles, 479 kilometers. DC fast charging, up to 165 kilowatts, 10 to 80% in about 24 minutes. Long-range battery option, 80 kilowatt-hour NCM, nickel cobalt manganese, battery. Power, slightly reduced to around 241 to 245 horsepower. 0 to 62 miles per hour, around 7.8 seconds. WLTP range, approximately 343 to 345 miles, 552 kilometers. DC fast charging, around 90 kilowatts, slower than the standard battery, 10 to 80% in about 47 minutes. Design, continues Mazda's Kodo design language with slim LED headlights and a wide, shield-shaped, blanked-off grille. It's a sleek liftback/saloon. Interior features a minimalist design with a significant focus on digital displays. 10.2-inch digital instrument cluster. 14.6-inch central touchscreen for infotainment with Google built-in. Head-up display. High-quality materials with options like brushed suede-like upholstery and mirror finish chrome work. Heated and ventilated front seats, panoramic glass sunroof, excellent Sony sound system on higher trims. Dimensions. Length, 4,921 millimeters, 193.7 inches. Width, 1,890 millimeters, 74.4 inches, /2,156 millimeters, 84.8 inches with side mirrors. Height, 1,491 millimeters, 58.7 inches. Wheelbase, 2,895 millimeters, 113.9 inches. Boot capacity, around 466 liters, 11.6 cubic feet, with an additional 70 liters, 2.4 cubic feet, front trunk. Driving dynamics, aimed at delivering Mazda's Jinba Tai, horse and rider as one. Feeling, with responsive steering and well-tuned braking. Reviews note it's refined, smooth, and engaging, though some found the ride firm on rougher surfaces. Technology, intelligent drive systems, accident mitigation technology, advanced driver assistance systems, ADAS. Sibling rivalry, what it could imply. The rivalry would primarily be between the very first units available in Europe in 2025 and those arriving slightly later in other markets in 2026. Any differences would likely be market-specific trims/features. Mazda might adjust trim levels, standard features, or optional packages based on market demand and regulations for the 2026 model year. Minor software updates. As with most new EVs, ongoing software updates might refine the infotainment system, charging performance, or driving assists over time. Buyers getting a 2026 model might receive these updates pre-installed. Pricing adjustments. Pricing may vary by region and could see slight adjustments for the 2026 model year based on market conditions and competitive landscape. In conclusion, for all intents and purposes, the 2026 Mazda 6e is the same car as the 2025 Mazda 6e. The distinction largely comes down to the staggered global launch rather than a significant update or redesign between model years. The 2026 Mazda 6e versus 2025 Mazda 6e, a global rollout, not a generational leap. As predicted, the 2025 Mazda 6e largely refers to the initial European market launch, which began in mid-2025. The 2026 Mazda 6e will represent its broader availability, including markets like the UK in early to mid-2026, and potentially other regions later. There is no fundamental redesign or new generation distinguishing the 2026 model year from the 2025 model year. It's the same sleek, all-electric liftback. The sibling rivalry is therefore less about competing versions of the car and more about market priority and availability. Europe received the Mazda 6e, known as the Mazda EZ-6 in China, where it launched in October 2024, first. This means consumers in certain European countries are already test driving and purchasing the 2025 model, while those in other regions, eagerly awaiting the 2026 model, are still relying on pre-order information and reviews from early adopters. Regional adaptations and specifications. While the core platform and design remain consistent, Mazda has emphasized that the 6e has been tuned for specific regional driving conditions. For example, Mazda UK stated that their engineers in Frankfurt ensured the car's suspension, steering, and braking were adapted for British roads. These subtle, market-specific refinements could lead to slightly different driving feels or ride comfort between cars destined for different continents, even if the powertrain is identical.